Tuscarora's Suicide Prevention Coalition is an early adopter for sharing the Man Therapy website throughout Ohio. What aspects of Man Therapy do you think resonate most with your community, and how is Man Therapy working to encourage men in the community to talk about their mental health?
So Tuscarawas County, we know back in 2023, we had some pretty staggering statistics that followed what, the rest of the state of Ohio had, the rest of America had, with suicide deaths in males, being the number one. For Tuscarawas County in particular, we had 70% of those suicide deaths were men. And of those 70%, the majority of them were over the age of 40. So Man Therapy coming in and being able to provide this resource has been hugely beneficial. We were kind of in the process as a suicide prevention committee, working with another agency called Leadership Tusc. And what they do is come up with different community projects. You can supply a project and say, hey, I'm looking to try to do this. And what they do is take up and coming leaders of the area and they work together to try and help you solve the issue that you're trying to solve. So we were already working with this Leadership Tusc to create a survey to try and figure out, how are men getting their information? How are they feeling about opening up about their mental health? So they had done a survey for us, and we discovered that men are basically getting their information word of mouth, asking others, or when they're out and about, if they're at a restaurant, a bar, agricultural store kind of thing, just getting information from billboards and whatnot. And then they did a focus group for us, and the focus group showed that men, are kind of willing to talk about their mental health, but they're not really sure where to go. So when Man Therapy came in, it was hugely beneficial to have all these pieces and parts in the right place at the right time. Resonates most with Tuscarawas County is the humor in Man Therapy. It's a great icebreaker, but it's still getting to the seriousness of the topics, whether it's depression, anxiety, anger, substance use issues. So I think that's been one of the biggest things. It's just that icebreaker of humor just tends to get everybody. And then there's also the anonymity of Man Therapy, where you can go to the website, take the head inspection, and it allows them, to take it anonymously. And there's no, they can follow up as they choose.
What are ways you've spread the word about Man Therapy Ohio? How are people responding?
We saturated the market. We started out with a press release and said, hey, Tuscarawas County, look forward to seeing these Man Therapy pieces everywhere. We did local radio ads, local PSAs. We are lucky enough to have 3 local radio stations in Tuscarawas County. So we got together with those 3 radio stations and said, hey, this is what we're looking to do. There's some vendors in this area that had donated airspace to us. So we were able to do some interviews with the radio stations, one particular at the farmers market. We did an outreach there, just had a table set up with local resources and had Man Therapy resources there. We sent letters to local businesses, restaurants, bars, different industrial places in this area, manufacturing businesses as well. And just let them know, hey, we're going to be in your area. We have this Man Therapy resource that is great for working age men. If the men in your workplace are feeling mentally well, they're going to be more productive, kind of just letting them know, hey, this is out there. And then we made posters. We took all the Man Therapy graphics and, made it a poster, but then included at the very bottom, 988 as our local, our nationwide crisis line, and then had a number for our local Adams board, our alcohol, drug, and mental health services board, to let them know, if you are looking for resources, if you're looking for a counselor, if you're looking for mental health help, this is where you can go. And it's kind of like a one-stop shop where they'll get a hold of somebody and they'll be connected with counselors, different counseling agencies, just mental health resources in general, support groups, whatever they need, we can hopefully provide for them. And we put those posters, when I say everywhere, I mean we put them everywhere. We went to gym locker rooms, libraries, restaurants, restrooms, churches. We're lucky enough on our suicide prevention committee to have every sector of community represented. We've got church leaders, employers, medical staff, mental health agencies on board, concerned citizens, pharmacy techs, like we've got everything covered. So we are trying to get in all those spaces and places where men are. And the encouraging thing for me was once we had those posters up, it was within a few days that we already had calls to our local Adams board saying, hey, I could use some help. I took this head inspection and it says that I might have some maybe depression or anxiety issues. What can I do?
Community members can now request Man Therapy Ohio website data for their county. You just received data for the county. How did it look, and how will you use this data to support your suicide prevention and mental health promotion efforts in the community?
The data, the actual graphic that you sent is phenomenal. And we have a suicide prevention committee meeting this afternoon that I have teased in all of my emails this week, that we are going to be getting some great data. I can't wait to share it with them. So my committee hasn't seen it yet. But what I've showed to a few other people on the committee, my co-chair, we are just super excited. You can see on our data, from January to March, there wasn't really much engagement with the Man Therapy website, and that was just us getting started. I think we had been given all the resources back in March or April. And then you can definitely see an uptick in website users, page views, people taking head inspections, completing those head inspections from the time we really started saturating just, posters everywhere, flyers everywhere. Anytime we were at an event, having just outreach there. So, our numbers, just having over 5,000 people visiting from, I'll say June to September, just that jump was very encouraging for me that, hey, we are doing this. We didn't know at first if it was doing anything, but here we are with this data that's so encouraging. People are going to the website. And, I always made sure when I talked about Man Therapy, it's not just for men. So anyone is able to visit that website, get resources that they might need. So whether it's, a man or a girlfriend, a wife, a mom, an aunt, any of those people are able to access this information. So again, that data just super encouraging for us to be able to show, our stakeholders, hey, we're doing things. It might seem like we're, slow to get started, but our data shows that men are interested, they're wanting help, they're wanting to get resources. So let's keep the ball rolling here.
Any final thoughts or mentions about Man Therapy?
All of this, getting posters out in the community, doing interviews, getting letters sent to business partners, getting people to engage with this is not just me. It is my whole committee. I've got a lot of great volunteers that are just as passionate about mental health as I am. They're willing to do the actual boots on the ground work, get into places, get into spaces, come up with ideas where do men hang out here in this area? And just having those community partnerships with, our local YMCA or local industries here in Tuscarawas County, just being willing to take men's mental health seriously and partner with us to get all of these resources out to men. So I cannot thank my committee enough for just all the work that they put in and all that they do. They're one in a million. I love them.